When most couples say in sickness and in health, they never imagine what those words might one day require. How do you keep choosing each other when life changes overnight? How do you love when caregiving becomes part of your marriage? Today's guest knows that love isn't just a feeling, it's a daily decision. Through adversity, prayer, and unwavering commitment, she and her husband have discovered that even the hard seasons can deepen your relationship. Stay with us because will encourage anyone who believes that love is worth fighting for. To the Stronger Marriage Show, we believe stronger marriages begin with real conversations. I'm Lucille, expert, been married for over 41 years, and I'm passionate about helping couples create purpose and passion. Through intentional communication, emotional connection, relationships. Joining me is my amazing co-host, Patti Hall, who reminds us to begin with healthy people. Patti.
Thank you, Lucille, and welcome, Renee. I am Patti Hall, the Wellness Warrior. After 39 years of marriage, I know strong relationships require love, grace, communication, and the daily commitment to care for ourselves and to keep growing. Marriage isn't only about celebrating the joyful moments. Sometimes the greatest expressions of love happen during life's most difficult seasons. Caring for one another physically, emotionally, and spiritually can strengthen a marriage in incredible ways. I'm looking forward to hearing how Renee and Jay have navigated this journey with faith, grace, and commitment.
Fantastic. Today's guest is Renea Linsom, an SEO blog writer, travel business owner, and co-author who believes to inspire hope, build legacies, and transform lives. Someone who doesn't simply write to inform, she writes to encourage people to see what Renee is also the co-author of My Plan is for Purpose and is a heart tribute to her mother. Renee has been married to her husband Jay for 5 years. Jay is an author and ministry leader known for his creative catchphrases and encouraging spirit. Together, they face challenges many couples never, including navigating marriage while Jay lives with paralysis. Rather than adversity to define them, they've chosen to let it strengthen their love. Through honest conversations, prayer, and intentional support, they've learned to keep choosing each other every day. Talking about conversations about caregiving, commitment, and love. Really Stronger Marriage Show.
Thank you so
Welcome,
much
Renee.
for having
With
me.
all right, we're gonna start off a little shot. It's just 2 to 3 minutes where I ask you these three questions. Give me like short answer before we get into your interview. If you had to describe your, what would
Okay.
it be?
Dedication.
All right. Why did you choose that word?
That's who we are. We've been dedicated to each other, dedicated to our purpose. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right. And lastly, before caregiving became a part of your story, what were your dreams and expectations for marriage?
A lot of breakfast in bed, a lot of traveling, a lot, of course, having kids, just in a huge adventure.
Okay. All right, cool. So tell me became part of your story.
when caregiving became a part of my story.
Before caregiving became a part of your story.
Oh,
Hey, Lucille, you're kind of freezing, or is it just me?
it's yeah, she is kind of freezing because I thought I answered.
I might be. I may
Or is it me? Am I moving okay? Or
again, but I'm a.
okay,
It should. Yeah,
yeah,
y'all say, go ahead and tell
Okay.
us about your marriage journey before caregiving.
Okay. Before caregiving became a part of my story, just um, we were just in love. We were just like, oh, okay. What are we going? What are we? What's our life going to look like? Let me hold on. Let me bring my phone here more. There we go. What are our lives going to look like before caregiving? I was like, okay. All right, I'm just gonna come in, see my boyfriend whenever. We're gonna have a great time. That was the extent. It was just enjoying one another. It wasn't necessarily getting involved, but it was just like, okay, we go out to eat, we go to the movies, and it was just still having a great time. But that's what it was. It was um I didn't have more. We were living apart. We had a long distance relationship. So it was a weekend and I had to go back to work. And I had to go back to Georgia. And I was like, okay, all right. Until I moved to the same place that my husband, then I got the caregiving part came in. I didn't have to do it before. So yeah, that was our lives before. Before I became caregiver, we was just all right. Going to the going to the
okay.
Right there. Well, fantastic. So, what
You know what? We were in a Black Christians group on Facebook, and I thought that he was I just thought he was good looking. I was like, okay, because he of himself in a post, and I said, oh, he's cute, and I just liked it, and I said, okay, I had to go back to work. I was on a break or something, and I was like, okay, going back to work, no big deal. Because I was like, ooh, he looks good. Um, it was actually him that was a little bit more involved because he saw me out my Facebook page, scoped it all the way out, and was like, ooh, who is this? Who is this? And I was like, he did all this stuff before he DM'd me. I was like, what in the world? Going through my pictures and everything. I was like, what a goober. He could be a creep.
doing his due diligence?
Like, that's a little awkward there. Yes. Yes. Very. Very. But I just thought he was good looking. That was my thing. I was like, okay, all right. I never necessarily was a little bit more fair skinned than mine. So I was just like, I don't know if I was fair skinned because I like them darker, like, a little bit darker like me. But my husband is not.
Chocolate man. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
He always liked. And my husband
Heard that a lot of times. It's
Hey, Lucille, you're still freezing.
what I would normally be attracted to.
Hey, Lucille, you're still kind of freezing and going
Okay.
in and out, or is that me?
She did for a second, but then she kind of came back in. And I was
You
like,
look perfect to
okay.
me, so it must be me.
Yeah, you're like So now you're stuck.
Okay.
Now, now you're not. No, you're not.
Hold on. She does not want to cooperate with us today. What were
Okay,
your
there we go.
early
Maybe this is it.
years? Can you?
Yes.
You
What am I?
asked what
Am I
what
still
were your
delayed?
yes, what were
I'm
your
sorry.
early
Say I'm sorry.
years of marriage like?
Yeah. What were your early years of marriage like?
My early years of marriage, boy, they were great. I mean, we got married, and we, of course, we went away for the honeymoon. We just, it was awesome. It was, but it was also very new, and hold on, let me press up a little bit. It was also very new because I've never been a wife before. I
Okay.
I messed up. I messed up quite a.
And
I think,
how did you mess up? How did you mess up? You just starting out. How did
oh,
you mess up? You just got married. So how did you mess up?
family. So one day, my husband stayed home because he wasn't feeling good, and I said I'm gonna go to church because the church that we had just became members of, and so I said, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go over here, and I pulled up, and church was over. I had messed up the time, and so I was like, said, okay, I'm just gonna go over to another church, which literally was not far, but I did not call my husband at all. I just went over there, and my called me literally, and I was in the middle of service, and I called, and I was like, I'm in church, blah blah. And I kind of, and he was not happy at all because he was like, I wish you would have told me, because he was like, I'm praying for you, but I also want to make sure that you're in trouble or anything like that. I thought to myself, like, I don't need you. I'm like, I don't need your help. I've been taking, you kind of thinking like, I've been taking care of myself all these years. I don't know. But I realized that I wasn't with that because I was going off like single. And I have
It was
a
just
man at
you.
home that wants to cover
Mm,
me, and by just checking in, not him being like, you better go over here, you gonna do as I say. It wasn't like that. It was just him always wanting to look out for me, and I was like, dang. I was like, I'm married. So I need to operate like I am. And so I think that was our first real married argument because like, oh. And he was like, well, fine. I don't want it. I was like, I don't need it either. I was like, I don't appreciate it.
It's
But
just
it was
that
a learning
learning to live
lesson for me
together and
though.
to
Yeah.
coexist and to
It
be
was
considerate.
yeah.
Those are just things that we have
Yeah.
to learn. So let's
Woo, I hit
transition
real good on
to
that one.
another
yeah.
let's transition a little bit. Your husband's paralysis changed many aspects of daily life. How did that season change your relationship as husband and wife?
I don't know if it necessarily changed anything. Now my husband got into he was already when we met, he was in a wheelchair, but he was able to transfer from one place to another. So it that
Okay.
was a deal, but he was in another accident in 19, and we were still very new in our
Mhm.
relationship, and his leg got contracted. Now he can't walk, he can't transfer. I mean, so when we got married, um, there were certain that I was used to, but it was like when we moved to
Mhm.
North Carolina, it was like everything went wrong. Not wrong, but it just is, we got married, and then it was just like a whole lot of health concerns started happening. Like he got sepsis, which could have easily taken him out of here. It was a lot. It was like different concerns after concern after concern, and I was like, and they're like, okay, we're gonna need you to do this. We're gonna need you to make output when he goes to the restroom. We're gonna need you to do that, and I was just like, whoa,
What?
okay, this, but I learned to do.
So,
I learned to do. Sorry, go ahead.
got you. No, I was just about to say, it seems like you experienced definitely a lot of emotions, going through that type of transition so quickly. And with your marriage still being new, it's not like you've been married a long time and you kind of got into in sickness and health, but you guys were just getting started. So can you tell the audience what type of emotions that, you initially experienced? You keep it real here for us, Renee. How did you feel?
Well, a lot of feelings of, man, were we supposed to move here to North Carolina? I could have had more money to be able to do some things if I would have stayed, because of course I started working, paycheck got cut in half. So I wasn't making news as I was when we were living in West Virginia. And I'm like,
Okay.
so mixed with health concerns, I was like, man, and I was like, and I don't have no support. I don't have any support because I'm not from North Carolina. I'm from Akron, Ohio. So I'm like,
Okay.
we around here, I don't have any support. I don't even have anyone that because nobody knows. So it was a very lonely. It was like, but I gotta keep plugging in because I want to make sure that my husband is good. So I'm like, okay. So I'm still powering through, but I'm also like, yo, they throwing the whole kitchen sink at me. Also, I love this. I'm gonna stay here. Leave is not even entering in my mind, but also like, yo, whoo, can I even do this?
Wow.
Can I? Is this even possible for me? And that's
what helped you guys stay
just
connected? Yeah. So what helped you guys stay connected through all of this?
Our faith. We are huge believers in God. I could not. Ain't no way would have even would make it even this far if I didn't have the salvation foundation. I would not. Because it's easier just to walk away, but then you also realize that my husband is an answered prayer. I had to also think about that too, because I wanted a man that loved God, but also loved me, and that was going to be the head, and was going to lead me as he walked closely with Christ. And so I was like, okay, I prayed for this man here. He's coming with some health concerns, but the core of it is still attached to God. And so I'm like, okay. I'm not going to look at him any differently because he still is an answered prayer. These health concerns can change. These health concerns will wake up to the next day and be completely healed. But, and so I was like, okay. Because at his core, he is the man that I prayed for.
Wow. Wow, that's great. I hear you guys are keeping keeping God as the foundation and your faith to guide you through and to get you through all of this. On your questionnaire, um, you shared in your questionnaire that choose love every time. What does that mean in everyday life? Choose love every time.
It's easy to say, "Oh, I love." I think that's a song I hear on love, and I'm like, "Oh," but love is a choice. It's a choice. You wake up every day and you could easily choose. Oh, I ain't gonna love nobody. Oh, now feed them to the dog. But it's choosing to love them no matter what. And every day choose. I choose to love. I choose to love. I choose to be like, okay, the day that he may not, but I'm choosing no matter what to go out that day with him to be like, okay, and still show up and to still show up no matter what. So you have to choose love, not oh, well, you should have did this, they should have did that. Oh, that's gonna give you gray hairs quick. And I choose to stay young as long as I can. So I'm choosing to love him.
Be intentional. So what does choosing look like on difficult days? Is there a difference?
It's choosing to know, oh yeah, a lot of times it's choosing to be like, okay, having that uncomfortable talk, like I didn't like how you did that. I didn't like you talked to me like this, and I didn't like that. Love is not necessarily just being like, oh, everything's wonderful, everything's just, we're running through lilies. I'm very honest with my husband, and I'm just like, I didn't like how you did that. And I may call him out, but guess what? I never call him out in front of people. I'm always like, hey, because I have love and I also have respect for him. So I'm like, hey, can we, okay, and then also knowing that sometimes he's having a bad day and I could tell, then maybe he just needs a little bit more. He needs a little bit more hugs, maybe a little bit more attention from me that day. Maybe a little bit more, where I'm encouraging him a little bit more because I'm like, yeah. Or I'll tell him, you have day, aren't you? Or are you feeling some type of way? Yeah, well, let's talk about it. How can we? And then pretty soon we laughing, or I'm cracking on him, or he's cracking on me sometimes, and I'm like, you little goober. I was like, and I'll quit to tell him, I'm like, man, I'm like, this is what I get from marrying a light skinned dude. This is what I get. This is what I get, and I'll with him all the time. But he knows. He knows that I love him, and I tell him I'll give you a hard time all day. Else gives you a hard time. I'm looking at them, but it's yes, it is. But it's just knowing and just it's being there, even on those challenging days, and just being like, okay, all right, seeing you, okay. I go like this sometimes. You
Let him know.
Oh, wow.
I see you. Funny.
watching you.
Do I still have a delay, y'all?
I hear you.
No.
Is it still a delay in my speech?
No.
Okay,
No.
good. So what you saying? That's what I get for marriage. I see where it would be expected about his disability, but I love that you didn't.
Nah, I mean,
And you guys are still able to have humor.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So many people don't understand the realities of caregiving. What are some things people don't often talk about?
A lot of times people don't talk about the real things that go along with being a caregiver. Sometimes I think we're quick to say, "Oh, it's good," but it's challenging. It's challenging. I'm just being honest. It is challenging. There are some days I'm like, whoo. I have to have my husband has to get into a Hoyer lift, and I have to crank it. I have to get him in and into his wheelchair. And I'm like, if I'm not feeling well, I'm like, boy, that's the biggest thing for me to do that day. And I'm like, this is hard. It's a hard day. Or my husband has extra fluid on him, and that leg that he's clean this up, and that leg feels like it weighs like 2 bricks. And I'm like, oh. And that day I'm already kind of
Mhm.
challenged a little bit in my body. Like, whew, sometimes it's very hard. It is very hard. And it takes a toll sometimes on your body, but I will say it's important to just be honest. But one of the things about caregiving is it is you have to after that I've been
Mhm.
driving all day, and we get home and he's like, I need to be changed. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I already drove like 4 hours round trip. I ain't tired. I just want to eat bed. But I can't have my husband laying
Mhm.
in mess. That's not acceptable. So that means
right.
I get that extra gear. I think that's when God says, okay, here you go. Here's a little bit of energy. And I'm like, okay. Because when I pass out that night, I'm done.
You're done.
It is challenging. I'm done. Capital D. I'm done. But it is challenging. It is probably one of the most things I have ever done. And I went to college. Challenging I've ever done. I would do it all again because I do it and I get to do it. And it's kind of my love letter a little bit to my husband because I'm like, okay, all right, I'm hanging. I'm gonna do this.
I love to get to do it.
Absolutely. Like it's an honor for you to be able to do it, and it's not a chore, it's not cumbersome, it's not bothersome. It's just an honor for you to be in that position to be able to honor your husband and your marriage and God to be able to serve in this way.
Yes, yes. Is serving necessarily always easy? No. Go ahead.
So speak to us a little bit about isolation. A thing, an obstacle for people, when they're in that caregiving season. Have you found that to be a problem?
I've always kind of a little bit of a loner period because I'm Renee. I've always been a little bit of a loner because but I think a lot of times I've started to go out more so I'm not necessarily late. I'm grateful for that because when I'm like, okay, I wanna this is on my heart to do, I was like, oh, go ahead, you should do it. Go ahead. And he's kind of it encourages me to, yeah, you're a businesswoman. You should be without businesswomen. Go ahead. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. But I don't necessarily feel isolated. For the most part, if I want to be in the house, I will. If I want out, I surely will be because I like to enjoy my life as much as possible. But sometimes, of course, I would rather be in that probably making me a sandwich because sometimes I just don't like to be around everybody. I don't, but I've been that way. That way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
child, so I'm like, I can be in the cut somewhere.
So that's
People be like, "Really?" Yeah. Go ahead.
okay. Well, that makes sense. That works out well since you're already used to kind of doing your own thing and not having to always be in a group or around a lot of people. You can kind of take it as it comes. So I'm sure that has helped you, in your marriage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you and Jay continue nurturing your marriage instead of allowing caregiving to become your entire relationship? I know you spend a lot of time taking care of him, but how do you still, nurture your relationship around the caregiving part?
Well, I think too is a part of our relationship, but it's never been all of our relationship. I think at our core, Jay and I have travelers. I tell you, when we met, oh gosh, yeah, one of our trips that we took, just the two, we actually came up to North Carolina, and
Hmm.
we went out to eat. Such a great time. Yeah, take care of them, but at core we was just like laughing, going to eat. We that's always been a part of us. And so when we got married, it still is a part of us. Going on dates, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take you out to breakfast today." He loves going to Bob Evans. I took him to Bob Evans when he came to my hometown, and he's loved Bob Evans ever since. And there's a
Okay.
Bob Evans that is here in North Carolina, but it's up near Raleigh. Well, it's up in Raleigh. What do? Get in the
Hmm.
car and we drive the hour and a half up to Raleigh and we go to Bob Evans because he's like, let's go to breakfast today. I got the money, let's go. And I'm like, okay, let me get dressed. All right, we going. So it's a mixture of just going out on those dates. Sometimes it's just like, come
Right.
here. I'm gonna rub your feet today. And I'm like, oh, please, please. The bunions.
Wow. So what I hear you telling our audience is date nights, date breakfasts, a lot of laughter, a friendship, and it seems like your emotional intimacy is still strong and still on point, and that you guys celebrate the small victories as well. So kudos to you,
it's
and thanks for explaining that to our audience.
it's a lot of fun. It's we never want to take each other for granted. Just like, hey, we're gonna do this today. I'll tell him like, babe, there's something going on here in town. We should go. And he'd be like, okay, all right, find out where it is. And we're always interested to see what's going on and where we live. It's fun for us, and it's just another way to keep each other because I don't know everything about him. He's a bit of a puzzle. So I'm always getting the puzzles with him each and every time. And he's still finding out different things about me because he's like, Renee, I didn't know you. Yeah, because it's fun. It is.
And you will never know. You will be looking at those puzzle pieces and finding those pieces of the puzzles throughout your entire relationships. Because I'm still finding out stuff that I didn't know, and I've been knowing this man basically all my life. So it's always interesting, like you say, to find something. People like, dang, I thought I knew everything about you. You like what? You do this? How come I didn't know that? So yeah.
I tell you guys
I
funny
definitely.
is he said to me, if you put sugar, a little bit of sugar in my mac and cheese, I said, I even I said, you put sugar, a little bit of sugar in your mac and cheese, and he was like, yeah, and I said, who are you? No, you're not putting that on your mac and cheese. What? No, no, no. And I'm not putting that on it when I cook. It's like flappers were gassing. I almost wanted to touch my pearls. Like, what?
I don't know. You might want to try that one time just to see.
I was loaded with cheese.
Savory dishes. That is something.
Weird, but my husband here though.
So let me ask you this. So what has this journey
That there are not. It's easy sometimes for people to say, I have unconditional for this person. Or that are showing. I don't have any. I'm just like, yeah, he's weird. He is weird. Sometimes he does not meet a stranger at all. Every person he meets, he's like, hey, or he calls them sweetie or honey. Like, like he's. I don't have any condition to be who he is, and he is.
Mm-hmm.
Never been any less. And it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I love him. I love him for who he is. Um, I'm excited about the things that God is doing in him, and I'm like, oh, I thought I was in love with another guy before, but now I realize that was nothing compared to the way that I feel about my husband. I was like, shoot. And I really wanted to run away from that completely. Just being transparent, I wanted to run away from that because I was like, no, I don't want to be close. I don't. But then I was like, Lord, these walls that I put up for years are crumbling. Oh, Jesus.
He broke him down. He broke him
It's
down. He broke him down for me.
that little goober, but it's so much. It's so very much unconditional. It is just it is. It continues to bloom. It continues. It's powerful. But I'm grateful there's no conditions on it. If he comes in, I don't have the money, I'm leaving you. You need to have some money. No, I do. He has a lot of dreams. I have a lot of vision. That's why a lot of things that we
Okay.
do, it makes sense because where he may fall short in, that's where I pick up. Where I may fall short, that's where he picks up. And we're just like, all right, okay, bam.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Expected hardships.
The hardships will come. They will come. We've been for 5 years. Woo, the hardships hit. It seems like as soon as I said I do too, and we went on our honeymoon, but then it seemed like it was one thing after another. They will come. But the important thing is that you hold on. You have to make up in your mind that you're going to choose to be together even through the that hurricane season, even that typhoon season, you have to make that choice. I, my husband and I, we talked about even before we got married. People coming at us on all sides when we were just flirting, and I told him, I said, we have to choose every day that we're going to stay together, no matter what other people try to plant in our. We have to make that choice, and you must make that. It are upset. My husband's in the hospital right now. I was crying earlier because I was like, I don't know what's going on. And he was like, it's not clean, you know, man, God's got us. And I was just like, okay. But it was, the trials are going to come. You have to stay together. The trials will tell you something about that man or that woman you met. It's going to tell you. If you turn after one little storm, it's going to tell you something. It's going to tell you something. The rubber will meet the road, and now, so I'm grateful that every time the rubber met the road for us, we were like, nope. In fact, we're gonna get even later, and that's what we've chosen. So, but trials will come, but hold on to eat.
They will.
Hold on to your faith. That's what. Oh.
Yeah. Personally, you've been speaking a lot about on this podcast is speaking about faith, and could you tell us, has this deepened your faith, or just where has this changed you personally?
Woo! It has deepened my faith. There are some things. I was always a prayer even before. I was like, Lord, I need your help with this. I mean, in just my own personal walk with God. Woo! I need your help with this. But when I prayed, and then I said, woo! A whole more, because I was like, Lord, what is this? What is this? This came up. Lord, I need your help. What do I need to say to him? What do I do? And I stay on my knees. I have really grown in my saved life so much. What it is my husband can see too. He'd be like, "Ooh, Renee, you've grown so much." And even you've grown much. And I said, because I've been on my knees praying all the time. Like, Lord, help me to be a better wife. Help me to take care of him. Help him to be the husband he needs to be. Because Lord, I can't make it. I cannot make it. It's gotten a whole lot deeper, but then I'm also grateful for that because I'm learning and I'm continuing to trust God. And I'm choosing to be like, okay, Lord, okay, when everything else looks still, like, I need to put my head on your shoulder. So it's been a journey of getting closer to God, staying on my knees and praying a lot.
That's exactly what it takes.
Same for us. So
I bet. I mean,
I'm going to transition to Pata now.
Renee,
as parent, I want to bring you into the wellness.
All right. Renee, I love these things that are jumping out that you're saying. You're talking about dedication and you're talking about being intentional a lot, relying on your faith and weathering all types of storms, from the hurricanes to the typhoons, whatever. You guys are facing it head on and you're making it through safely to the other side. And I
Amen.
know, from what you said, caregiving affects every part of our lives, not just physically, because I know you were saying sometimes you're tired and you're exhausted. And so the physical part is not just affected, it's our emotional and spiritual as well. So you kind of
Absolutely.
touched on a lot of these points. How do you take care of you? You talked a lot about taking care of your husband, which is a wonderful thing, but how do you take care of you, of yourself, while caring for your husband?
So this has not been I am not an overnight sensation, family. I am not. But one thing that I have done that I do, that I do a whole lot better is when my husband's sleeping and I wake like 4:20 in the morning. At least during the week I do. And I'll get up, get dressed, and I'll go to the gym first. And I'll be like, okay, get up, go, get on, do sizes, work out good. Then I come home and I'm like, okay, I want to hear what God is saying, reading. And I'm doing a whole lot of stuff before my husband even starts to. I I make a point to do that. I only work out 3 days a week, but every day I'm up early because
Mhm.
I need to I need to pour into me. I need to allow God to pour into me because I'm going to be pouring out the majority of the day, and I've learned to be like, okay, all right, I'll. So if I get into my office, I'll close that door and be like,
Mhm.
and if I need to do a mission, I will. If I need to read a really good book, which I'm reading a really good one right now, two really good ones,
Mhm.
I will. And it's just my time to just be like, okay, when it's time for my husband to get up and all that, I'm like, hey, all right. He'd be like, how was the gym this morning? What are you reading? I'm doing good. This is what I'm reading. But I have to have that time. So at least that first couple hours of the day, I'm like,
Belong to you, and it's great that you do that first thing in the morning because it sets your tone for the rest of the day. Like you say, you are filling your cup not only physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So you're better able to
absolutely.
be a better caregiver to him because you're starting from a full cup. And it's best when you do that first thing in the morning because you're not waiting until things happen throughout the day. So it's not like you're saying, I'm going to do it at lunchtime or I'm going to do it in the afternoon. You get that, knock that out first thing in the day. So you're ready, set, go by the time he gets up, which is great for you and also for him. What encouragement would you give to caregivers who may be feeling overwhelmed or even isolated?
Feeling overwhelmed. Now, this is going to come from the writer part of me. If you are feeling overwhelmed, I would definitely suggest a I would definitely suggest that one thing for you to do, journal. It's okay to feel how you are feeling. Emotions demand to be felt. And if you're if you're feeling isolated, make sure that you're caring for that they are not a lot that they are not isolating you. Okay, because you want to make sure that you're not in any kind of abusive relationship. Make sure of that. But if
Okay.
there are always people that I wouldn't say necessarily everybody, but there are always people that or at least someone that you can go to and be like, man, um, I mean, see someone in your city. Don't isolate yourself. As much as I like sometimes to be in the house, when I'm ready to
Mhm.
go out, I'm going. I'm going because I'm like,
Okay.
there always a there's always a tribe out there. Just make sure to find yours. I will say, um, don't leave yourself alone all the time because so many things can only grow. And so many things, especially if
Right.
you allow it to. If you don't do anything, you know.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Great. I love that. I love that. Well, today's conversation reminds us that caregiving is one of the deepest expressions of love, but it also requires wisdom, support, and self care, just like Renee just talked about. When you are caring for your spouse, it can affect every part of your life, like we discussed, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and relational. Can't even say that word, but it affects your relationship too. But caring for yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Just like Renee explained, you got to get yours in so you can be full, not only serving yourself, but to be able to serve the person that you're taking care of as well. Sometimes wellness looks like rest, it looks like prayer, sometimes it looks like asking for help, taking a breath, or allowing someone else to support you, just like Renee just explained. Couples must remember caregiving may be a part of the marriage, but it should not be the whole marriage. You got to keep laughing, you got to keep talking, you got to keep praying, you got to keep praying, you got to keep praying. You got to keep seeing each other as husband and wife. For our listeners this week, I want you to ask your spouse, how can I better support you in this season? You know, we're all going through different seasons. Sickness and in health is one of those vows that is it's real. It's real. But ask your spouse, how can I better support you in this season? Then listen with love because stronger marriages are built when couples keep choosing compassion, grace, and like we just talked about, and Renee has been intentional in her marriage, that showing that grace, that compassion, and keeping things going together for her and Jay. So they're not only physically healthy, they're emotionally and spiritually healthy as well.
I love that.
All right, Lucille, back to
Absolutely.
you.
All right. So how can how can our guests connect with you, Renee?
Well, you can look me up. I'm at Queen Reliable on on all social media platforms. Find me on TikTok. My husband also has a page also on top. Some of my things. But you can find me there on Queen Reliable, and I'll kind of sign for you over to our Renee page. But yeah, Renee on all platforms.
I love that. I love that. Do you have any upcoming courses?
Hmm?
Lucille, say that again. You kind of broke up. Say that one more time,
Any
Lucille.
engagements or you're offering?
No resources as of yet. The ones that I have right, if you are a coach or therapist, but you can hit me up. Those that is for my individual business. But if you are looking for a trip, if you any want to take a trip with your spouse, my husband and I we did start a travel business this year, so we would love to take care of that for you. So, yeah, I'm in business with my husband.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, Renee, thank you for reminding us that commitment isn't measured in moments that test us the most. One thing I love about us, caregiving isn't simply about meeting physical, continuing to choose love, communication, a willingness to say we don't manipulate each other in prayer. That is a powerful reminder that healthy marriages are built on honesty, faith, and mutual support. Your story encourages us to remember that while life doesn't have to change our commitment, love grows stronger one another through every day. If today's conversation encouraged this episode with someone you care about, you never know marriage, restore hope, or change your family's happen. They're through intentional conversation. So this week, have one heart-to-heart conversation. Choose grace over frustration. I'm Lucille Reddick, and this has been the Stronger, Deeper Marriage Show, where we believe real conversations lead to stronger marriages. God bless.
God bless. Bye.
God bless.